Right, you joined me a couple of sets into my workout. So tonight is a push session, but it's more of a shoulder focus. I'll probably throw some chest stuff in a little bit. It's a weird one. It's a bit of a hybrid of a support workout and a bodybuilding workout. I'm going slightly higher rep range. And I just fancied hitting some shoulders again, a good pump in my shoulders, to be honest with you. And that's pretty much it. So gone up to 100 kilos, got that for 10, felt fine. I'm gonna jump up to 140 now. I'm gonna do basically as many reps as I can with the 140. So I'm hoping for 10 reps, maybe a few more, don't know. I'm just gonna see what I can get. Because 10 reps on a seated press on 140 is pretty good going. Wasn't the prettiest. Well, whatever. I think that was 11. I'll take 11. That was okay. You might be able to tell by the suntan. Literally just come back off holiday yesterday. I managed to get a couple of sessions in abroad, but hold on, let me just turn this music down, sorry. I managed to get a couple of sessions in while I was away, but it's not the same. So this is going to be my first proper session for a few days. So I'll take it. 3 plates, 11 reps. Form wasn't the best. I got pretty good depth. I was doing them, I think, more in a kind of continuous tension style. I wasn't locking out, but whatever. It was 3 plates from a seated press, so I'll take it. I slid down the bench a little bit. It's quite challenging, to be honest with you, to stay upright on the seated press. I've got my bench not set at 90 degrees. I've got it set 1 notch back. I don't like 90-degree seated press. I find it very, very hard on lower back. So I set it just 1 notch back. It's still very steep. It's still going to be a good 75 degrees or something like that. But I did end up sliding down the bench a little bit. It happens, whatever. Please don't judge me though. It moved, the end. I'm going to go up a tiny bit in weight. I'm going to go 160 and probably get a double, a triple with 160, just to make sure that I've got a double or a triple still in me. It's just reminding the body, it's just waking the body up. You guys will have seen over the last few weeks, I've been focusing on the standing press, the push press, where the push press is a wonderful exercise, but it involves so much leg and lower back and just core overall strength and stability. It doesn't actually involve as much what you say static strength for your shoulders. So this is a great support exercise for the standing press, and I have been focusing on the standing press. So I just want to make sure that what you said, the basic raw strength is still there. So I'm going to get 160, hit that for a double or triple, but I'm going to do it in what you'd say, I won't say proper form, not like the other form wasn't proper, but I'm going to do a fuller range of motion. As I said, double, triple, see how it goes. See, this is my problem. As soon as I start touching something heavier, I want to go heavier. So 160 triple felt not too bad, not too bad. I'm not going to jump up to 180, considering this wasn't meant to be a super heavy session. I'm going to try 170. I'm going to get a single with 170, maybe a double, single or double. I'll see when I get underneath the bar, and then I'll assess from there. But considering I wasn't planning to do this kind of weight, I'm pretty happy so far.
Discard, discard, discard.
It would be wrong not to try 180, wouldn't it? Might as well. Yeah, 170 was alright. It was not too bad. I think 180 for a single or a double might well be there. I think because I was indecisive on the 170, the second rep was harder than it should have been, if that makes any sense. The first rep wasn't too bad. The second rep, because I was sort of hesitating, I just lost my momentum, my psychological edge, whatever you want to call it. But because I'm an experienced trainer, I know 180 is there. I kind of know where my strength limits are and everything. I'd say, judging by the way 170 felt, even though I only got it, the second one was not a grinder, even though the second rep wasn't as fast as it could have been. I know that was more human error than lack of strength. So I'm going to have a feel of 180. And again, this is just an impromptu heavy shoulder press workout. It wasn't meant to be like this at all. It was meant to be a nice 10 to 12 reps, get a bit of a pump in the shoulders, get a bit of a pump in the chest, off you go. But hey, enjoy your training. That's the main thing. Pretty good. I wasn't trying to pause or anything. I just wanted to move it as a speed rep. Not like I can really do a speed rep with 180, but I wasn't messing around with a pause there. I just wanted to kind of touch and go. And I got it. That was all right. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. It's inspired me. Guess what? I'm gonna try again. This workout's getting out of hand now, isn't it? I'm gonna try 190. I'm gonna try 190. And then that will officially put me higher than my standing press, which I got 185 a couple of weeks ago. So 190. And then I'm gonna call it a day, I think. The point is, just enjoy your training. Yeah, just enjoy what you're doing. I enjoy risking my life and my health doing stupid things with big weights. You know, if you enjoy CrossFit, cool. If you enjoy boxing, cool. If you enjoy slow tempo reps, cool. Just do what you enjoy. Lifting is an amazing thing, but the way you stay consistent, the way you keep going, is just do stuff you enjoy. Now, I'm not saying avoid the hard stuff. You know, we all enjoy some bicep curls, and we probably don't all enjoy squats as much as bicep curls, unless you're a masochist like me. I don't mean that, but you know, don't be afraid to deviate and just mess around and have fun. And that's just what keeps you training fresh. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I'm going to cut off with the heavy stuff there now for this. I think dicing with death, getting a little close, stepping on a line a little bit. So, and the form isn't the tightest. I'm not really a fan of dive bombing, and I was starting to dive bomb a little bit. And dive bombing with that breeder weight can lead to tweaks and pulls and things. That's why at the end I kind of sat forward and just had to do like a systems check. Make sure everything's still functioning. And everything's fine, everything's fine. I've got some tingles in my hand, and that's just simply because I had my Wrist straps on super duper tight, but yeah, not bad at all. I'll definitely take that for a comeback heavy press session. 190. The best I've ever done on a seated press is a bit over 200. And considering I'm not at absolute maximal strength at the moment on my pressing, obviously with this elbow injury I've been getting over, 190 for this stage. Great stuff. Really good stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna move on now. Now, what I'm gonna do next is a very old school exercise called the guillotine press, the throat press, the guillotine press. It's got a number of names, and it's a very old school exercise. You set up a flat bench and you have your hands wide and your elbows flared. Now, I am not a proponent of bench pressing with your elbows flared by any means, because that's in fact how I tore my pec many years ago, benching 230 kilos. But that's because I didn't know any better, and I was benching with my elbows flared there. However, this will be done under control, and you bench press basically to your collarbone. You flare your elbows out and you bench press to your collarbone. It's an old school exercise, popularized by a bodybuilder called Vince Gironda. And he was an absolute genius in his day. He really was. And he really thought outside the box. And even though the bench is going to be set flat, it actually hits your upper chest and you get the most incredible, this kind of shelf of muscle here, you get the most incredible upper chest pump from it. But proceed with caution, is what I would say. You have to be very mobile, which even though I'm a bit of a lump, I am quite mobile, and you use moderate weights. I will be using, I don't know, anywhere between 100 to 140 kilos on it, which for me isn't a super duper heavy weight by any means. But it is a really good way of really activating the pecs. And as I said, this workout is like a sort of just a hybrid. It's not necessarily a bodybuilding workout. It's not a strength workout. It's something in between. I'm just having fun lifting, and I fancy doing guillotine presses, so don't judge me. But as I said, joking aside, I know there's a few of you who are on here who kind of, maybe follow some of my routines and things. Guillotine press is a fantastic exercise, but genuinely proceed with caution. If you are going to try it out, please start out really light. Get used to the bar, get used to the feel of it. Throw on 10 kilos aside or something like that. Make sure you've got the mobility there, because it is something that can potentially really hurt you. Great exercise, but as I said, it puts your pecs in an incredibly stretched position, and it puts your shoulders in quite a precarious position as well. So even though I have torn my pec in the past and I've had pec injuries, weirdly, I'm still reasonably mobile, because I've deliberately really worked on mobilizing the area and kind of breaking up the scar tissue and stuff. So I'm able to do these without any discomfort. But even so, you guys know I'm a pretty decent bencher. My flat bench, even though I'm not at full strength at the moment, you guys probably saw one of my more recent videos, I hit 240 for a triple. So I'm not by any means a bad bencher. So for me, as I said, 120 on this, 50% of that is enough. And I'm just going to see what it feels like when I get underneath the bar. 100 to 140 kilos is what I'll be aiming for. that session done. I just ended up sticking with 100 kilos on the guillotine press. I only recorded one set, but I assure you I did 5 sets. 5 working sets of 10. So what I did on the guillotines is I just slowed them down. I just did really slow negatives and let the weight do the work. So that was kind of tapping into a more bodybuilding style. So I was taking probably, 2 seconds on a negative, maybe 3, 2 to 3 seconds, pause on the chest in a stretch position, and then press out. And I ended up doing 5 sets of that, and the chest pump is mad. It's incredible. Really good pump, really good pump. So yeah, nice little session. As I said, it was a little bit of a hybrid of a heavy / support session and whatever. I just enjoyed the session. Got a good pump, moved a bit of weight as well, you know, hey presto. Okay, I'm going to leave it there then. So thank you very much as always to everyone who's taken the time to view this video. You know the score. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm a tiny channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs at the moment. So if you are new to this and you kind of like what you see, please don't forget to click like and click subscribe. It costs nothing, but it'll mean a lot to me. And it'll help fuel my midlife crisis so I can start getting some YouTube money and buy myself a nice convertible and go and live in the Canary Islands or something like that. I don't know. Whatever, you get the gist. But yeah, no, joking aside, I am a little channel and the YouTube algorithm doesn't tend to really like little channels like mine. So it may well be that you are seeing this for the first time. Check out the channel. If you like watching a pretty big dude lift some pretty big weights and then having a bit of a chat about it without much drama, you know, I might be your new favorite channel. I don't do the gossiping, I don't do the nonsense, I don't really do any fancy editing. I kind of film, do a blur between sets and then have a chat. And sometimes I put some cool music over it as well. Anyway, one more time, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit notifications and all that good stuff. You guys take care and I will speak to you soon.